Talk a little silly season. We got Martin Truex Jr. We know he's vacating his seat. Chase Briscoe has said on Sirius this week that he's got a couple opportunities, and he seems to be a popular name right now, Jerry, for that 19 car.
That wouldn't surprise me. I think there's a lot of drivers that are, looking at their options, and especially some of the younger guys. Chase Briscoe in the 19 car would probably be a good fit over there. I did find it interesting during the press conference after Sam Mayer won that he's like, I haven't, no one's reaching out to me, and it kind of ticked him off. He said, well, there's another driver that should be getting a call. So when you start looking at everybody that's out there and what's available, it's going to be it's just now getting fun in the silly season.
Well, and we still don't know where all the Stewart-Haas charters are going to land, or if charters are even going to exist, because they still don't have a deal. The owners and NASCAR still don't have a deal on the whole charter situation for next year, Bruce.
And I thought the whole thing with the charters was going to be announced predicated on what the TV contract was. Well, the TV contract's been known since last fall. So I don't understand why this charter thing hasn't moved forward. And is it really pushing the charter system to a breaking point with some of the teams? Because if you talk to Jeff Gordon and some of the people over at Hendrick Motorsports, this is a major, major deal to them. And to get that charter system figured out, my other question is, what is the market value of these charters? Because the amount that Stewart-Haas is letting them go for is less than some of the charters that we've seen go for in past years. So the whole charter system still seems to be, if I have a Mickey Mantle rookie card and the book value of it is $3 million, well, that's only if somebody wants to pay me $3 million for the Mickey Mantle rookie card. In reality, somebody might only want to pay $1.5 million for it. So not saying the charters, of course, are going to go for much more than that, but what is the actual value of the charters at the moment?
Well, I think that comes down to, and everybody's comparing it to what Spire paid last year, Jerry. The fact is that was one charter on the market, and I don't even think it was on the market. Now you've got all of a sudden four.
I don't think, and I've stood by this, I do not think Spire paid $40 million for that charter. That's just my take. That's what I've been told. I think it was inflated, and I think it made a lot of headlines and it got a lot of eyes. But I'm not saying it wasn't $30+ million. Okay, I just don't think they hit the $40 million. They could have, and I'm all wrong and I'm all washed up. But I'll tell you this, to Bruce's point. For that one, I work I do marketing for a precious metals company, and if you have a rare coin or a rare baseball card, and there's only one of them, like you just said, Brett, and then all of a sudden 4 of them get dumped on the market, the price of that one just went down because now there's 4 more that get put on the market, and that's going to affect the charters. That's going to hurt the teams that have bought at a higher inflated price. And if you think back to what Brad Keselowski said at Texas, he's like, we don't know if we're going to have charters right now. These charters could be worthless. That's why he wasn't putting any bids in at the time on what was going on, because there was not a deal with the charter. We heard this deal was going to be done. It hasn't been done. Some of the smaller teams don't want to sign on to the deal with the bigger teams because it seems like it's gotten to a point where they're no longer together on everything. And this could play out all the way down to December 31st or even into January, as I've been told by a couple of my sources in the garage, that we may not see anything before the end of the season.
And I know that the deal that got sent out to the teams a couple of weeks ago, Bruce, I've heard a lot of people say the teams felt like that was the worst deal they've been offered.
At the end of all these deals, the one entity that's going to come out on top is going to be NASCAR, because NASCAR holds basically all the power. And even in a charter system, it still holds an awful lot of power. And it doesn't hurt NASCAR any to see this charter thing go on and on and on and on, because they're still collecting from the new TV contract and everything else. So in a lot of ways, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but it seems that maybe NASCAR doesn't place the charter system in the priority that it should be.
Well, and at least we're seeing somewhat, if the charter system continues to exist, one of the purposes of the charter system was when people choose to get out of the sport, as Stewart-Haas is doing, at least they're getting something for what they put into it. They're getting some value for their dollar.
There was equity in the team.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the purpose of it. But let's talk about some of the drivers. What are we hearing? What are you hearing, Jerry, now? We know the guys on the market, Gregson, Berry, Priest. The interesting thing with Josh Berry is he and Rodney Childers have reportedly said, his crew chief have reportedly said, we want to go as a package deal and bring our entire the number 4 team with us.
So in my opinion, where does that go? If Dale Jr. does buy a charter, and if Dale Jr. does get into
which he said he isn't, he said he had interested.
He said he had interest in. So if
he said he has interest in, or he hasn't been interested in,
he has interest in it. He doesn't have interest in it at that price tag.
Okay.
I think that's the clarification there. So if that does happen, maybe that package deal goes there. They've been. I think Denny picks up a charter. I think I'm hearing that Front Row Motorsports might look at something. So you never know. Rick Ware might buy another charter. I mean, he seems like the smartest guy in the garage. He bought them all years ago when they were nothing, and then it sold them off as he needed to. And he's funded a team that's actually, got Justin Haley and Kaz Gralla, and they're actually running quasi decent for what they are. And he's making waves in other sports because of what he's been able to do. So you never know what's going to happen at this point, and who might end up with him. A new manufacturer could come in. I doubt that right now. But I will say this: I think there could be a new team come in as well.